Sony. Oh man, guys. Sony just completely dropped the bombshell this morning, pretty much talking about next generation quite openly here. And we got quite a bit of information. I think the reason they most likely did this was probably to get ahead of Microsoft. They probably figured that they were going to talk about their next generation system at E3 in some capacity. And doing this kind of got them in the conversation lately. And yeah, they didn't have to reveal too much, but just kind of confirmed like a lot of basic things that we'd expect, technically at least, and still left it open for more. So let's go over everything we learned. And we got quite a bit of information here. Wired got to sit down with Mark Cerny here in Foster City, California, and got to talk about it. So yeah, I guess it does confirm that Mark Cerny will indeed be the lead system architecture guy for the PS5. You know, obviously for the PS4 he did a pretty good job, and yeah, excited to have him back at least. And yeah, so I guess the biggest news, or I guess, yeah, the biggest one that people are talking about, this was at the end of the article pretty much confirming that backwards compatibility will be a thing for the PS5. Yes, we will be able to play PS4 games, and we'll even be able to play PSVR games. I'll be supported as well. PSVR will work, and they kind of teased some kind of PSVR 2 They pretty much said that VR is very important to Sony. I pretty much think that the reason they're letting you use PSVR on PS5 is pretty much it's going to be backwards compatible, obviously. PSVR 2 won't be ready at the gate. They don't want to have you just all 4.1 million people that have a PSVR headset not buy a PS5 because of that reason, you know. Makes a lot of sense in that way, and I do believe there will be a bigger push for VR a couple years down the line after the PS5 came out, and once we get the second headset, that'll be pretty exciting. Yeah, they pretty much announced that PS5 will be up to 8K, at least in terms of support. A lot of people are saying 8K, what the hell, but if you think about it, 7 years down the line, 8K is going to most likely be a reality. I mean, hell, people are getting a lot of 4K TVs now, and that was like a thing that was far-fetched like 5 years ago or something, so yeah, ahead of the times, definitely 8K. That's kind of crazy. I don't even have a 4K TV. I'm fine with 1080p right now, but, you know, as we go on, that's going to be a more and more enticing option, at least. The CPU will be based on AMD Ryzen's kind of core. They said it's going to have like 8 cores or something. I'm not like a really big tech guy, but a lot of people are saying that this is really good, so I'm going to believe them on that. It's going to have a custom GPU set kind of based on AMD as well as Radeon Navi set. And the big thing that a lot of people are talking about was ray tracing support, which is something that's seen in Hollywood, and it hasn't made its way into the gaming industry yet, but apparently they're doing that for the PS5, and it's going to make it so they're going to use kind of like the way that light would reflect off of surfaces to kind of like confirm a player's location or something. Like, yeah, pretty much it's like a visual effect, and it's going to make its way into the game console. Ray tracing's immediate benefits are largely visual for the time being, and because it mimics the way light bounces from object to object in a scene, reflective surfaces and refractions through glass and liquid can be rendered much more accurately. So yeah, that's pretty exciting for visual at least, and that's pretty exciting. Yeah, the big one for me, I believe that a lot of people are talking about is definitely the SSD. Like, if you think about the PS4 right now, we're using obviously hard drives, and as games get bigger and bigger, it's definitely becoming something that a lot of people are like at least recognizing is the fact that a lot of waiting with this powerful technology, you're gonna have to wait a while. So the thing that Sony asked developers when developing PS5, which by the way has been in development for 4 years, they said fall 2015, so they started working on this 2 years after the PS4 launched. And yeah, that mimics, I believe they started working on the PS4 like 2 years after the PS3 launch, so it seems like they're a cycle of working on systems. But yeah, pretty much the number one thing came out of it was definitely SSDs, and yeah, Sony seems to be supporting it. We don't know the size right now, but it's supposed to be like 18 times faster than the speeds we have right now. They tested it on Spider-Man on the PS5 dev kit, and yeah, they fast traveled to Manhattan, and what normally took 15 seconds took 0.8 seconds, which obviously is a huge difference. And they said that obviously they don't know right now, but the way developers are going to be using this is pretty exciting, because obviously loading things and like lobbies and stuff are kind of made with like long loading times in mind. So when you remove that barrier, it's going to be exciting to see what people do. In VR too, that's going to be pretty exciting that, you know, you don't have to wait and look at a blank screen for like a lot of time and kind of just be annoying. I know when I'm playing Firewall that has some long loading screens. So yeah, definitely like getting you into the game faster, that's definitely something exciting. And just if it's at least 2 terabytes of SSD, that's gonna be pretty expensive, but I feel like it needs to be 2 terabytes at least, because yeah, obviously, you know, games are big. 500 gigabytes was not enough for the PS4 launch. They launched it with that. Yeah, I think 2 terabytes minimum with this kind of technology is kind of a given, so hopefully we get a 2 terabyte SSD at launch. They also said that it's not coming in 2019, that's obvious, but to me it's pretty obvious that fall 2020 is going to be what it's like. Jason Schreier did say that he's talking to people and he doesn't know for sure if it's fall 2020. He knows it's 2020, but the people that are making like the Assassin's Creeds for fall 2020 are kind of making that game with the PS5 launch in mind. So it's kind of making obvious sense. They always like announce these things, or they always drop these things in the holiday season. So I would fully expect PS5 to drop in fall 2020, and it's almost pretty much confirmed now anyway. So yeah, it's exciting. Physical media will be returning with the PS5. This isn't going to be a digital-only feature. That's a big plus. Yes, you're going to be able to use your PS4 games and your PS5 games physically. So yeah, that's very exciting. Obviously, this is probably going to be the last generation, honestly, if physical is going to be around. Like, it's just dying out a lot. Like, you see the statistics of digital to physical. Like, digital's booming right now and physical's dying out. So yes, PS5 will support physical games. This will definitely be the last generation, in my opinion, that will, because obviously times are changing, but hey, at least we got one more generation, and I think it kind of felt like the reason they have physical, like, media being able to be played on a PS5 is mainly due to backwards compatibility, if you think about it. Like, whenever Sony pushes games now on the PS4, they're always like, road to launch, do all these things, download it digitally, day one, you know, preload it and stuff. So I'm pretty sure the reason why they have like a disc drive is mainly because of the PS4 backwards compatibility. So yeah, obviously you're still gonna get your PS5 cases, that's not going anywhere, but like it's dying out here soon, so at least we're gonna have it for at least the next couple years to go. So yeah, something at least. Other than that, they talked about game audio, which was probably like the last big point they talked about, and pretty much how Sony wasn't happy with the jump that they went from PS3 to PS4 in terms of audio, and that when they're working with 3D audio now for the PS5, this isn't something that's only going to be in like headsets. Like, this is going to be something that you could use on your TV and surround sound, and it'll be a lot more immersive. And yeah, immediately when I heard about this, like, I immediately thought of PSVR and how this could benefit from it. Just like, obviously more work on the audio front that will make it a lot more immersive on games. And yeah, they said that like mainly on TV as well, like you're gonna see a big improvement. Like, this isn't something that's only for like the VR people, this is gonna be something that's like 3D audio in general. Like, games are gonna sound hopefully a lot better. That's something I was kind of thinking about going into PS5, because like, you know, we always push and push in terms of the technology front. Audio's kind of been left behind. It hasn't really seen that much care. It's obviously been worked on, but not to that extent where like there's intentionally, I guess, a lot of progress put into it. So the fact that 3D audio is getting a push is something exciting, and I think it's like a different direction that they could take. So it seems like when they're talking about PS5, they're obviously looking at graphical like pushes and stuff, but the main takeaways, at least from Sony, it seems like loading times, audio, and just like, yeah, I guess the backwards compatibility front and their future with PSVR, like those are like the big takeaways. PSVR will be supported at launch, PS4 games will be supported at launch, 8K is going to be down the line supported, I imagine, and yeah, there's a disc drive, which is nice. It's using the same PS4's architecture, obviously, like something based on that, so it's very similar. That was something we kind of expected going in, that it's going to be similar, because PS4 uses kind of like a standardized architecture, and yeah, it seems like a pretty good push from Sony. Gonna be exciting when they talk about this next time. I imagine maybe if they're talking about this early, I could see PSX possibly getting some PS5 news. Like, people mentioned that like a while ago. I said we'll wait until like 2020 early, but they already dropped a lot of information. Like, I was literally thinking like this is gonna be the year where we get a bunch of technology like leaks and stuff for the PS5, and Sony's just like, heck, we'll tell you ourselves. So yeah, we're like a year and a half away from this thing dropping, but we got some new details, so I guess that's exciting. And yeah, at least we don't have to hear the BS rumors, you know. Like, the next thing we do is probably gonna see stuff of this stuff running, and yeah, hopefully see what Sony has to show for it. So yeah, dev kits are being sent out more and more, especially lately, they said. And yeah, obviously a lot of their studios internally at the worldwide studios that have their hands on it and are working on it, and we already knew that PS5 exclusives were being made. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty exciting. I definitely want to talk more about PS5 going forward in the future. Things about like what they could possibly launch with. You know, we always see new IPs at the beginning of a generation, because obviously you could take a chance if you have like a new system, you're gonna buy more, you're gonna be open to buying more stuff for the software, and it's for any launch. Like the Switch saw that, PSVR saw that. People are more open to trying new stuff when they have a new device and want new stuff to play. So yeah, pretty exciting stuff as always. Definitely a big bombshell to wake up to the morning and see that Sony's talking about PS5. They literally tweeted out this morning like, yo, you want to hear about our next generation system? We got some new details for you. I'm like, whoa, okay, cool. Definitely pretty interesting. They definitely want to be in the conversation, and they're playing it smart. Like, we got the state of play that got us a lot of cool VR announcements and keeping themselves in the conversation, and this definitely was kind of a big surprise for the industry. And yeah, they want to stay in the lead and stay in people's minds. So yeah, Death Stranding, I believe that's like the last thing I kind of want to talk about, I guess, real quick in here. Mark Cerny kind of smiled and he said it might be a cross platform launch, but it is going to still come to PS4. But yeah, he kind of teased that it might come to PS5. So Maybe that's a smirk of, I know it's going to be a PS5 launch title. Who knows? But yeah, pretty interesting times, of course, as always. Of course, my thoughts are only half the conversation. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Exciting times here. It's kind of crazy the PS4 era is ending here. And what a day, man. Dreams just launched, which is something that I've been waiting years for. I imagine a lot of people have been waiting years for. And the fact that we're getting a tease at PS5 and it's just all happening on a random Tuesday, it's just like, this industry, man, it's crazy how this stuff can work out. So yeah, I guess I'll see you guys later today. Hopefully I'm going to be live streaming some dreams if you guys want to stop by. Exciting times, of course, as always. Or, of course, subscribe if you have not yet seen any of my other content and want to be notified for future content, man. So yeah, stay here and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.